And welcome into the Bullpen, episode 20. Gentlemen, episode 20. Can you believe it? I had the confetti. I should have thrown it for episode 20.
Survives?
This is the Bullpen podcast. You're joined by the usual suspects here in the bullpen. Brandon is here. Evan, JP, Dan. We're all back in the bullpen. Middle of the NBA and NHL playoffs. We got the NFL draft next week. I know you boys are very excited about that. And that's how we start our show with a major announcement here in the Bullpen podcast. Brandon Velasquez will be making this announcement. Please tell us.
Big time news.
Tell us what's happening here in the Bullpen podcast.
Fan of the program, friend of the program, sponsor of the program, Andy Behrens. Is going to hang out with us in Chicago next week with our Yahoo Sports draft coverage. So he's agreed, since Dan, unfortunately, you are the only one of us not going to the draft.
Indeed.
He's going to take your spot, and we're going to have a special pre-draft podcast hoping to tape next Wednesday. As soon as we get off the plane, in between
in-baggage claim.
Like in-baggage claim. If not, because apparently we might be going to, there's rumors that we're going to be going to the Cubs game that night in Chicago. If not, we'll just do the podcast from the bleachers in Wrigley Field.
Perfect.
And we'll try to make that work. So I'm hoping flights are okay and everything goes smoothly. But, it should be a fun one. We're going to do a big to-do with Andy in the draft, so it should be fun.
So tell your friends and their friends. JP, how's it that you say it? Tell a friend to tell a friend?
Correct.
Tell a friend to tell a friend to make sure to check out the Bullpen podcast next week. That'll be the week of April 28th. I guess you guys will probably be taping on the 7th or the 27th or 28th.
27th.
That should be really exciting. I'm looking forward to Andy. And you guys
Andy's actually excited about it, which
you guys
is
are
really
going to do a full-on first-round mock draft type situation?
That's going to be the whole episode.
That's going to be the whole episode, and we'll be live tweeting the results from all 20 of our Twitter followers from the Bullpen Pod.
Perfect.
Can follow along
from the Yahoo Sports account at Yahoo Sports.
If you want to get involved in that draft, please do.
Yeah.
Get in touch with us at the Bullpen Pod or bullpenpodcast@gmail.com. Send in your picks, your thoughts. If you want draft analysis from Mr. Barron's, fantasy analysis, fantasy baseball questions, fantasy basketball questions. The man knows it all.
About how to have a book that turns into a movie.
And have him lament his failing university, although I'm not one to talk.
Maybe we should get somebody to write pitch emails to like Orvieto and Caskey so we can actually get some real traction on this thing.
Hey,
let's do it.
I don't know if you guys remember from way back when.
I don't think we're officially sanctioned yet. That's why.
That is true. They filed there was a article on Yahoo Today on how to beat the Warriors, and I sent JP the link from way back when he intimated the same things on how to beat the Warriors.
They're just stealing your shit.
Nobody listens to JP hashtag.
All right, well,
Is that like Everybody Hates Chris, that really bad TV show?
Oh, this is way better. That show is actually really good.
Oh, really?
So we won't talk too much about the draft this week, but some NFL news this week. Carolina Panthers removing the franchise tag from Josh Norman. That means he is going to be a free agent, surprisingly. And where do we think his best possible landing spot is going to be? Now, we know the 49ers are in the mix. We know the Redskins. He's going to visit the Redskins.
Rappaport said those two are the front runners.
So those are the front
runners, which we've got a little.
Charles Robinson broke the news on the Niners, by the way. Just throwing that out there.
Okay, sorry. Well, I just saw that one tweet. I just saw that pop up.
I'm going to make the case for Josh to join the Red and Gold. We've got better burritos here. And, when you talk a lot, you get hungry. And Josh likes to talk a lot. So I figure this is the place to go.
Wow.
What do you think, JP? What's your case to bring him to the nation's capital?
God, that was basura. There's no way that Josh Norman goes to the 49ers because historically they're the cheapest NFL franchise ever. So why would he go there when he's asking for a ton of money?
Well, they're cheap except that they've got $50 million in cap space, and they would.
And they're not going to spend it on one person. Theoretically, he's not going to get no fat deal.
If he wants $16 million a year, and they've got 50.
Do you remember when Kurt Warner came out here and he said, "I want 13 base," and then you guys were like, "We'll give you 11."
He was also a very old man.
He went to the Super Bowl that year.
He's still an old man.
But the point is, you guys don't have good principal in your front office, so you're not going to pay him. So he's not going to be a Niner.
Fair. And actually, you know what? Anyway, with the rest of that defense, what difference is he going to make anyway? I don't think he's a difference maker individually. He was good because the rest of Carolina's defense was good. The rest of the 49ers defense is definitely not as good as Carolina's defense.
And no offense, but the Redskins are not also on Carolina's level either defensively. So
he'll make a difference. I'm not talking about defense.
Oh, okay.
He'll make a difference on both teams.
Well,
I don't think the Redskins should overpay Josh Norman, which they've been prone to do with a la D'Angelo Hall, who now is a safety and doesn't do very much in any game.
so what would be overpaying in your mind? Because Schefter's report, what do you think is overpaying in your mind?
Now, didn't Schefter say he wanted, 15 a year?
Is that overpaying to you?
He had one great year of productivity, but he's asking for like the market rate for corners, the same conversation we have with QBs. So
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not mad at his price point. We need DB help, period, though. So him coming to the Redskins would be tight. Granted, you'd have to break a little bank, but we have besides Breland, we don't have any corners. We don't have any backup corners. We have no depth. Duke is coming off an injured reserve at safety, so hopefully he stays healthy, but we don't have a lot of DBs. So, I mean, Norman would help on one side of the field, and I guess you could push Breland to the other since he's athletic, but if he's asking for 15, you got to pay him 15.
Now, is it the $15 million or is it the length of the deal? Because he is 29, and at some point, like, those skills are going to decline. Probably in the middle of that deal, probably around 32. Like, he's not going to be as quick at 32 as he was last year.
So 5 years.
But that's cool too, 'cause as long as
if he wants
healthy,
to take a 2-year, $15 million, I'd give him 2 years at $16 million per year, and maybe guarantee most of that, just to see what I can get left out of him, instead of locking myself into a 5-year deal.
I'm cool with him getting old though, because in the draft or even through free agency, I can find a cover safety to put on his side and help him out. Like, okay, I understand that you're not the guy that you were 4 years ago, but look, there's somebody behind you just in case you slip up. They got your back.
How big of a mistake was this for Carolina? Or was it?
It was just weird. Because, like, if you wanted all that money, which the GM has come out and said, we've got this money now. Well, who are you going to spend it on now?
Yeah, something's missing.
I mean, you can lock up some of your guys that you want to try to maybe restructure and lock up. You can use that cap space. But other than that, it was just really weird that you wait 2 months, after the deadline is due and to take it off. The timing is very odd.
There's got to be more to that story.
Oh, of course.
They seem like they want a no-nonsense locker room, and I think Norman was getting to the point where he was not no-nonsense.
Yeah.
He was very nonsense.
He was buying into his hype. And I'm not saying he's a terrible player, because he is one of the best corners in the league, but I think he was probably becoming bigger than the team, or thinking he was bigger than the team, and maybe they were like, no, that's not how we do things here. Which, kudos to them if that's the case.
The big story on social media this week sort of overtook Twitter for a day as everybody tried to figure out what's happening.
That was weird,
was
too.
Conor McGregor. I mean,
we
three lines.
We sat there for like 45 minutes trying to
90
figure
maybe.
out.
Just
before we
waiting
even moved.
for somebody to validate. So the backstory here, Conor McGregor tweeted out Tuesday. Yeah, it was Tuesday morning out of nowhere, essentially saying, I'm retiring young. Thanks for all the money. Use the word cheese. And see you later. And we all kind of waited for a long time.
Let's wait for the LOL.
What's up?
No.
Oh yeah, we were waiting. Exactly right. Yeah. Sorry, I thought you were being literal.
No.
And we were just waiting, and no one confirmed it. UFC wasn't tweeting anything out. Dana White wasn't tweeting anything out. And as this story developed, we come to find out that Conor released a statement today, which this is Thursday, kind of explaining what he was doing. In the meantime, Dana White pulled him from UFC 200, saying he wasn't going to fight because he didn't attend promotional events in Las Vegas. What a circus, right? So what does this mean? What does this mean for...
Talking about somebody who you just said, Josh Norman, who's smelling his own roses.
Oh, yeah.
3 years ago today, I began my crusade to take all you bums from 5-figure paydays to multi-7-figure paydays.
Yeah.
And not a thank you. Who is this?
Well, that's a 2-week-old tweet. That is from before all this happened.
Regardless.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, he feels like he has risen. He feels like he's the Tiger Woods of UFC. He feels like he's the one who has raised the purses for everybody else. He was the first to get 7 figures for a fight, but to demand $10 million. And then he claimed in his Facebook post Thursday that he was told $10 million was the amount for the promotional that was allotted for the promotional, and he thinks his one tweet tripled that. And hey, it got a lot of people talking, obviously, about this event that is 3 months away.
This guy's a clown.
Especially since it's a rematch of a fight that
that he lost.
That he lost. So
You didn't win. That's the major point here. Like, you actually didn't win, so you don't really hold the cards any longer.
But you got to think about it from Dana White's standpoint now. Like, we talked about this the other day, that all of his like rising stars down they go.
Yeah.
Like, even John Jones didn't lose, but he had that huge off the, out of the ring
He
stuff.
took a whole year off.
Yeah. So who does he have that can carry the torch for this? I mean, he has a lot of great fighters and a lot of dynamic personalities, but nobody that he had. I mean, he had Rousey and McGregor. They were running, and he was probably sitting back going, I'm going to ride this wave. He put him on the cover of a video game, and then bang, bang, they both lose. And now he's scrambling. Like, can he afford to even lose McGregor? He's still dynamic, and people will still pay for his fights, regardless of his last fight and this stunt. But, Dana's scrambling a little bit, and this is probably the first time he's ever really had to scramble.
Well, it's a landmark event, obviously. 200 being a round number, new arena in Vegas. It's huge. That's a garbage card if you take him away. So, yeah, in this case especially, he really needs him. Someone pointed out Wednesday that this happened with Nate Diaz back in, 136. White pulled Diaz, and Diaz eventually came back. They'll work something out.
Yeah, and Diaz is he's a piece of work.
Right.
So, Conor's at least a little more accommodating in that regard.
But is there anything from his actual statement that you can take away and say, you know what, actually I can kind of respect that? Or is it just him thinking his
the media stuff? I don't blame him, because I understand that it's part of the gig, but at the same time, for that Aldo fight, they were doing a ton of stuff. They were going on promotional tours, it seemed like every week, trying to promote that fight in other countries and everything. And I can understand how that can wear on you, because then the rest of the time it feels like you're training. So
he should have negotiated that then. He should have.
Well, maybe he tried, and Dana said, "No, you're not. If you're not here, you're not fighting." And that's what he said. Fine, I'll retire.
Because it's pretty clear that White is very adamant about everyone does the same amount, and he has not changed for that for anybody. And
big or small, which is cool.
Right.
Yeah. The little guys show up, and the big guys show up. So he just needs to show up.
Right. Respect him for that. Absolutely.
Okay.
This is going to be better if, in fact, he gets reinstated,
and he will.
What word we're calling this, and he loses again, so he can pity party and everybody can drink the Irish tears together.
Then he can officially retire.
Either way, if you weren't a part of some of that circus this week, that really got things.
But hey, shout out to Cowboy Cerrone, because his tweet was factual. He said he was pulling the stunt to get some attention because he was a crybaby, and he was right.
It seemed like a little more than that. Like, I feel like if he was going to do
Shout
it,
out
if he was going to do it just for
Cowboy
that, he would have come back.
Teachers to teach him how to spell.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I don't feel like it was just like, I want attention. It was like, hey, I really want to train and I don't want to do it. He
could have done that and not said I'm retiring.
Yeah.
So that's a stunt.
True.
So Cowboy wins.
Cowboy wins. Fair enough.
It's the only time the Cowboys really win.
Bazing.
And I'm out, folks. Good night.
All right, thank you for coming. NHL, NBA playoff updates. All right, let's see. Who's got teams left? Evan's got 3 teams left. Warriors, Celtics, Blazers.
You're talking about the NBA here?
Yeah, I'm talking about the NBA
well,
first.
Nobody's been eliminated.
Except for the Lakers. So
right.
Evan only has 3 teams left.
I thought they had a shot.
Yeah. Kobe had 60 in his last game for crying out loud.
Can I get half a point for that?
Yeah.
Looking at the NBA playoffs a little bit, we've got 6 series that are 2-0, and a lot of these games aren't close.
Full disclosure, and this is all I'm going to say about the NBA playoffs. I haven't watched a single second of it, and that's the only thing I'm going to say about it.
Okay.
I see the scores, but that's pretty much it. Like I seeing the scores, I'm like, okay, I'm glad I didn't watch that game. They're not interesting.
But that being the point, is there too much power versus mediocrity to the point where maybe they're not going to change the format. They would be there's no way they would do that. But it just feels very one-sided.
No, the only suggestion that's been thrown out, I think it was at this point, one point this season, was eliminating the conference structure in the playoffs, just make it 1 through 16 and seed them that way.
Wouldn't that be worse?
Yeah.
Well,
then
maybe
you'd have
not. Maybe
what?
not.
You'd have the
matchups could've been a little
Warriors
more
versus the Pistons.
Well, you're assuming didn't the Pistons have a better record than Houston?
Oh, I don't know.
Houston was close to a losing record.
okay.
It was flipped this year where the East
Houston was 500.
The East was the conference with all the teams over 500, and the West was threatening to have a losing team in there. But I think in the West in particular, it just shows the separation in between the top and the bottom. Dallas got really lucky to be 1-1 in that series at this point as we tape because they almost dropped game 2 there when Adams had the tip in late. But I think the Warriors, the Spurs, the Thunder are the 3 elite teams in the West. The Clippers are just below that and have jumped out 2-0 on Portland. But in the East, I mean, Boston's just had some terrible luck there with Bradley getting hurt. He's done for the series. Miami's have been impressive, I think. I thought Charlotte would give them a little trouble, but that's 2-0. And you had Indy coming out winning game 1 against Toronto, too. So
The Raptors going Raptors.
Raptors going to You think Indiana wins that series?
Yep.
I can see that happening.
The
absolutely.
Raptors are the St. Louis Blues of the NBA, probably.
They're just really bad in the postseason for some reason.
Yeah. What's been really interesting was in the Detroit-Cleveland series, Stanley Johnson came out after Game 2 and said he's in LeBron's head.
Not interesting. You're down 2-0.
It's interesting.
How are you in somebody's head when you haven't won a game?
It's interesting when a rookie calls out arguably the best player in the league.
Tucson gonna Tucson.
Absolutely, that's interesting.
Oh, man. I just would have rolled my eyes and proceeded to ask another question.
I'm not saying it's smart, but it's definitely like
what about this for a playoff structure? What if they do like the Big East tournament or the ACC tournament?
5
where
games in
like,
5 days?
No. Where you have like the top 4 teams get a bye. That way you filter out the top teams.
Double buys for
yeah, that's fine.
I'd be down for that. 1 game each.
Well, I mean, I think I see what the point would be there with the 16 teams. You'd have a lot of 48, and look, there's 4 48 and 34 teams. Those teams would be playing each other instead of playing up.
You'd have a little more parity, and those games would be a little more enjoyable to watch.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
1 game elimination would be tight, at least for like
The wild card game.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to see the Mavericks play.
Just do a single elimination tournament with all 30.
I think most of Mavericks fans probably don't want to see
Like the Rockets.
They're like, oh, it's Dirk again.
The Rockets with James Harden don't deserve anything
Oh,
good.
my God. They are the...
I want to know how come nobody on that team, I don't care if he's a franchise player, he makes the most money out of everybody on that roster. How does nobody challenge him? It's usually 4 on 5 when James Harden's on the court. And if he's not hitting jump shots, it's really 3 on 5. Because he's bricking and there's nobody to crash the board. He doesn't follow his own shots. He's not running back. And when he does run back, he olays. Like, he'd be an amazing...
Do you think they've kind of just like
Matador?
packed it in at this point? Like,
But no. Well, why? They could have won the last game.
yeah.
And
Well, kind of.
dude, with Steph on the bench, you should win. Like
Yeah.
you should be able to
You should
win.
at
I don't
least-
know.
You should at least keep it within 5.
You should still.
Yeah.
You
You shouldn't lose by
I mean,
20.
it's true. I'm just
You
saying.
should
like,
steal a game.
And after that, don't you think it's like, okay, we're packing it in?
I mean,
You know?
they're
we
fully
can't
gonna
beat
get-
them without Steph. By the way,
What they did last year was just astonishing.
on that, if you're Kerr, do you keep him out the rest of the series?
Yeah,
Yes.
man.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, man, his weak ankles.
I would. I can't imagine even.
One interesting
Risking
thing
it.
I just want to point out on the 16-team idea is that if that had happened this year, the Bulls would be in, the Rockets would be out.
That is true.
So that'd be interesting.
Ah.
That is true.
Which
Nobody
still
wants
would have been an ugly series
I know, that would have
anyway.
been a really ugly series.
God, just Derrick Rose missing layups.
I mean, you want to talk about 2-point, if Steph's hurt in that series against Derrick Rose, who's always hurt, that would have been like 2 guys with walkers going at it.
But Jimmy Butler would have willed the Bulls to at least 1 victory with Steph on the bench. And you could guarantee that he plays hard, and he would have got them at least 1 victory.
How many NHL games have you watched this postseason, JP?
2?
First 2?
Nope, they're both Sharks games.
That a boy. Can I say this?
Look at JP watching more hockey than I've watched basketball.
I appreciate you.
Props.
Tuning in for the Sharks.
I told you because it's about to be Sharks and Caps in the finals, and we're going to go to a hockey game.
Let's do it. I have to say this. I am so flippin' tired of the Los Angeles Kings. I'm done. I hate the new playoff format because we're always going to play the Los Angeles Kings. Where it's in the first round.
I'm tired of the beat LA chant.
Well, I'm sorry that I'm not tired of that.
Yeah,
I like that one.
That's just.
I got that
Say
going
to
in my
2
living
Bay
room.
Area guys.
I got that going in my
No. I'm just saying, like
That's at Giants games. That's at Sharks
That's
games.
an inferiority complex. That's what that is.
It's about to be at 49er games.
Man. Oh God. I didn't
yeah.
think about that.
Dun, dun.
That's terrible.
No, but I mean, the playoffs so far have been good for the most part.
Yeah.
I mean,
But y'all about to win.
That's good.
Other than the Caps Flyers series, I know the Flyers got Game 4, but that's not gonna
No.
Other than that, most of the series have been pretty competitive. So,
I'm looking. I just feel like every single playoff game we've played in the last 4 years has been against the Los Angeles Kings. It'd be nice
Sounds
to
about
play
right.
somebody different.
Randy Hahn said something before Game 3 that I just was astonished by, like as they were coming in, for the Sharks, and he was like, "It's been 2 years since this building has hosted a playoff game. Been a long time." And I'm just like, you had a 10-year run in the playoffs, and you missed 1 year, and you're acting like you're so exhausted that it's been so long since the playoffs have been back in San Jose. I was like, come on, dude.
That was the funny part about the local media coming into the series. Was like, first home playoff game in 2 years. It's like, that's not that long.
Yeah, that's really not that long.
I do have to say the last night specifically, and then this is again Wednesday night, which was Game 4.
Were you there? Was it lit?
No. I almost bought tickets like 6:30. I went online and went, should I just buy some tickets? And go?
My future brother-in-law got a ticket for $60.
Nice,
And
nice.
I mean, for a playoff game,
But
it's
it looked like it was rocking, and they had not had that kind of energy
I
in that
caught the
building
last
this year
10
at all.
minutes of it. That was
You should have slid
pretty
through.
exciting.
Anything else on the NHL playoffs, guys? Nothing else? Anything jump out to you?
Nah, we got
Stars look good.
Yeah,
they're in the
up
driver's
3-1.
seat.
They should close
Caps
it out.
are in, so we should all have something to talk about
Yep.
about next week or in a couple weeks when we get back to this. Time Magazine released their annual list of most influential people. This includes athletes and includes government officials, artists, singers,
venture
actors.
capitalists on that list.
It's perfect. Anyway, there were 8 sports names on there. I don't know if you guys looked at it. I know Brandon saw one, but
LeBron didn't make it this time.
LeBron did not make it this time.
Oh, he was going to be my go-to at number 1.
There's not a single football player on the list.
They are not ranked. They're not ranked. This is just the
JP
100.
already cheated and looked at the list?
No, I could guess
okay.
the people.
All right, so I have the list here.
We know the basketball player.
Yep.
Is there no football players?
There's not a single football player. I'm positive.
There's not a football player.
Told you.
Okay.
Shenanigans.
You know the basketball player.
Steph.
Yeah, we already called that one.
So then who's the wild card?
All right. Jordan Spieth's on there.
Jordan Spieth is on there. That's 2.
Serena Williams.
No.
Well, we know time always.
No. Just
Times behind the times.
all right. Well, I'll run through
Wait.
some of these unless you guys want to keep guessing.
The
I got
most-
them.
I want to throw some guesses out.
The most dominant female
Baseball?
athlete in sports. The most dominant. And a philanthropist.
I'm not arguing with you.
How is she not influential?
Yeah, I agree with you. Brandon says baseball. I'll throw out Bryce Harper.
No baseball players.
Whoa.
Some of these are a stretch. So I'll give you one that is a stretch. A former Olympic gold medalist or an Olympic gold medalist, Caitlyn Jenner.
Man, Bruce Jenner. Bruce don't deserve nothing.
Wait, no, Caitlyn Jenner's not an athlete. Bruce Jenner was an athlete.
Well,
right?
I'm
theoretically.
I'm not going to discredit what
Yeah.
she has done. So
Who? She?
I'm
She's
sure.
a she.
I'm sure she's still running.
Are we gonna have this debate right
Yeah.
here, JP?
We don't have time for that.
Oh my God.
We have no time.
Dude named
your
Bruce.
boy's on here. Fastest man alive.
Usain?
Yeah, I was.
He's on here.
He's got to be on there.
That's interesting.
So we had Spieth, Bolt. Any other guesses before I run through them real quick? One of these I know you guys won't get. Well, you might.
Any drivers?
There is a driver.
Jimmy Johnson?
No. Not Lewis Hamilton.
Lewis Hamilton, of course, A+ would pull it out of his back. I had to look him up. I had no idea who he was.
From the flailing IRL.
Formula One, yeah.
Formula One.
Three-time champion.
How is that
He's won the
influential when
last
I
2
barely
years.
know who the guy is?
Because we're American.
That's true.
No. It's because he's on Team Mercedes-Benz. That's the big deal, right?
Oh.
He's got Mercedes money now.
Mobile One too.
Wings and beer. Ronda Rousey's on here.
Yeah.
For what? Going to sleep?
Pretty much.
So Rousey's on there, but not.
Serena.
Not
Wow.
Serena. Yeah, no.
Connor.
Hey, Time Magazine, y'all suck.
No McGregor. Huh.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
He also went to sleep.
Shout out to Time for
Here's
not
a
doing
question.
any homework this
Yeah,
year.
here's a question. This was questionable for me because it's not really. He is an athlete. Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, was on here.
He should have got it for entertainment,
But
not for being an
here's
athlete.
here's what they gave him. Well, it wasn't. They weren't saying athlete. It was. I think it was idol or leader. I think it was leader, and he was listed as action hero, future president.
He is playing.
Future president. Jesus.
He is currently filming Baywatch. He's playing David Hasselhoff's character
Yes.
from that because they look so much alike.
Acting, I'll give the nod there. I guess because he shows up to WrestleMania once a year, he's still an athlete.
Athlete.
I
because
just
he's
included
buff,
it
but he
because
doesn't
he's
play
He
anything.
did have an 8-second match at WrestleMania this year.
Oh yeah, he's live.
Well,
I just threw him in there because he's.
Oh no, he's influential. I wouldn't put him in sports, but he's tight.
Ballers.
All right, the last one here. Is fencing in the Summer Olympics? It is, right?
It is.
So you guys will see this woman there, and I cannot pronounce her name. Ibtihaj Muhammad. She's a U.S. fencer. She's she's Muslim.
her, yeah.
The Muslim fencer who will be there for Team USA. So those are the 8 that I picked out of there. You know, there's other people in there like
Fencing, that's tight.
check it out. It's
We know where to find JP if we lose him in Rio. He'll be at the fencing matches.
beach volleyball.
He'll be at beach. He'll
He'll
be
be
at
at beach
volleyball.
volleyball,
Yeah.
All right.
Dan's following closely.
Ask JP time. Use the hashtag AskJP. Anytime you feel like asking JP anything that you want to ask JP. Hashtag AskJP. Lawrence writes in with the hashtag AskJP. Why are you the only one with annoying friends always asking questions? Lawrence, thank you for your contribution to the Bullpen podcast. JP, why is it that you're the only one with annoying friends always
I
asking
need
questions?
to know where y'all people at.
I think you're the only one who has friends here.
Wait,
That's pretty much
why
true.
is
I think
JP looking at me? Did I do something wrong?
my circle of friends pretty much
Y'all
is
all,
at this
y'all
table.
all have more followers than I do. You guys all tweet. Where your
That's not
partners
true.
at?
I'm not.
Well, you're
Let's not get into that here.
defunct at the internet.
But you give better advice.
It's true.
That's not what. Not on everything. I'm not the hockey expert. That would be you.
Okay.
I'm not the cheater. That would be Evan. Dan, I'm not the.
Rap.
I'm
Rap
not
music.
the like master father.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have any parental advice. I mean, they could ask anything.
All right. So we know we have Lawrence and we have Cliff.
AKA the
And we got
black Skip
Andy
Bayless.
Behrens, who's
Yeah.
friends with all of us. So
Yeah,
now,
we need to
all right,
expand
our
that.
goal in the next 20 shows is to get a few more people to hashtag AskJP.
By episode 40.
Episode 40, we're going to get
Hey,
some.
maybe
episode
Pat 40.
I was going to say,
Yeah,
we need
Pat
to get
40
Pat
will ask
40
his
on
first
for
question.
episode 40.
Well, Lawrence, just so you know, you're supplanting yourself as a regular on the podcast. by-
Yeah.
I'm going to
by
ask
asking
40,
for
like, 40, will you please?
Just
like,
send us a question with the
Yeah.
AskJP hashtag. All right, so NFL draft next week, guys.
Yeah.
Make sure you tune into the Bullpen podcast because we will have a special edition. Andy Behrens on the program will be moderating and drafting and having all
Evan's
going to
be selecting for the Cleveland Browns unless they trade again.
Oh, goody! Did you guys already pick your draft order?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Okay,
Yeah.
so here's the tease. Let's hear
Yeah.
the draft order. Who gets first overall pick?
It'll go in order. Behrens is picking number 1 overall
Okay.
for the Rams. I'm taking number 2, which was the Browns, but it got flipped.
Okay.
So I'm taking the Eagles. JP's picking 3rd for the
Okay.
Chargers, and then Evan's going 4th for the Cowboys, and then we'll keep going in that order.
Keep going. Well, that'll be a fun program. So make sure you check back here on iTunes or on YouTube, wherever you.
Evan's
going to
take Deion Sanders for the Cowboys.
That would be sweet. Must be the money. Anything else, guys, before we get out of here for this week?
You going to start tweeting?
Maybe. Maybe.
we should get Dan on Snapchat.
Wow.
Oh, I can't even imagine how I would do that.
Oh, we got him on Instagram
Just
recently.
got
I know,
you on IG.
We just got him on the gram.
I have 23 followers now.
So that's 23 unique people who could ask a question to you for the podcast. Why is that funny?
Again, most of them are sitting at this table or related to people sitting at this table.
So?
All right. Check us back next week, guys. Thanks for tuning in.